And gentlemen, live like a king, die like a king crown. That's not just a quote, it's a mindset. A king doesn't wait for chances, he creates them. He trains when others rest. He believes when others doubt. Every day is a battle, and the throne isn't given. It's earned through sweat, pain, and focus. A king doesn't fear failure, he uses it. He doesn't settle, he rises. Discipline, hunger, and heart. That's the code. So live with fire, move with purpose, leave a legacy. Because if you're going to live like a king. And when it's over, die like one. Discipline defines greatness. It is the invisible thread that connects dreams to reality. While talent might open the door, only discipline keeps it open. In the world of high achievers, discipline isn't optional, it's everything. It's the force that wakes you up before the world does, that gets you to work when there's no applause, no cameras, and no cheers. It's what builds champions, not just in sports, but in life. Because discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. That's where greatness is born, in the dark, quiet hours when no one is watching. Think about the greats, not just athletes, but leaders, innovators, legends in their own fields. They all had one thing in common: ruthless, unshakable discipline. They knew that greatness isn't an act, it's a habit, a muscle you build daily. They weren't perfect, but they were consistent. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum is the silent engine of success. When others are partying, the disciplined are planning. When others are sleeping, the disciplined are sharpening their edge. Discipline means saying no to short term pleasure for long term purpose. It means sacrificing comfort for growth. People admire the results, the trophies, the lifestyle, the fame, but they rarely see the grind behind the scenes, the daily routine, the repetition, the struggle. But that's where discipline lives. And that's where greatness is forged. Every morning, the discipline make a choice. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for the right mood. They move with intention. They know that action creates emotion, not the other way around. You train the body through motion, and you train the mind through discipline. The discipline know that emotion is temporary, but commitment is permanent. Discipline is brutal. It demands structure, it demands control, it demands sacrifice. But that sacrifice gives you freedom, freedom from mediocrity, freedom from regret, freedom from the chaos of a life without direction. Because when you own your habits, you own your future. And discipline is how you take that control back. It gives you power over the one thing you can actually master: yourself. Dreams fade. Without it, talent rusts. Without it, potential is wasted. Discipline is the difference between wishing and achieving, between being remembered and being forgotten. People will always talk about passion, but passion without discipline burns out. It flares up and dies. Discipline is the slow burn that keeps going, that outlasts everything else. There will be pain. Discipline is painful, but so is regret. The question is, which pain are you willing to choose? The pain of pushing through, or the pain of looking back and knowing you could have done more, been more, lived more? Discipline is the pain that pays off. It's the price of greatness. And the price is worth it every single time. There are no shortcuts, no cheat codes. Discipline is about showing up day after day, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when no one claps. It's about mastering the basics and repeating them until they become second nature. Because that's what the greats do. They make excellence their default setting. They train like it's game day every day. They don't rise to the occasion. They rise to the level of their discipline. When you look at someone at the top, remember, you're not seeing the whole story. You're seeing the outcome of years of silent effort. You're seeing the result of 1,000 small choices stacked on top of each other. Each one shaped by discipline. They chose to stay late, to train longer, to read more, to listen deeper, to push when others pause. That's what discipline does. It stacks, it builds, and then it breaks through. Discipline also means having the courage to be different, to go against the crowd. While others chase instant gratification, the disciplined choose delayed satisfaction. They know that real rewards take time. They don't chase applause, they chase progress. And in doing so, they separate themselves from the average. You can't fake discipline. It shows up in everything: how you speak, how you train, how you lead, how you respond to pressure. It shows in your body language, your routine, your mindset. It becomes who you are. And once you develop that identity, the identity of someone who does the hard things, who doesn't quit, who follows through, everything changes. Because discipline doesn't just build results, it builds character. And character is what carries you when motivation disappears. When the hype is gone, when life punches you in the face, discipline is the inner anchor, the quiet voice that says, "Hey, get up, keep going, you've got more in you." That voice gets louder the more you train it, and discipline is the training. In a world obsessed with speed and shortcuts, discipline is the long road. But it's the only road that leads to real success. Fast wins fade, but the wins aren't through discipline, they stay with you forever. They become part of your legacy. And legacy is built one discipline day at a time. Discipline gives you clarity. You stop chasing everything and you start focusing on what truly matters. You realize that not every opportunity is for you, that not every path leads to purpose. Discipline filters out the noise. It gives your life structure, purpose, and meaning. It transforms chaos into order. And in that order, you find your power. Every choice matters, every rep matters. Every second you spend avoiding distraction and staying locked in, it all adds up. That's how greatness is made. Not by one huge moment, but by 1,000 small ones. All guided by discipline. You either make discipline your ally, or life will make excuses your prison. Create your own legacy. It starts with a decision, not circumstances. Nobody is born with a legacy. It's built day by day, choice by choice, action by action. Legacy is not just about what you achieve for yourself, it's about what you leave behind. It's the mark you make on this world, the story that continues when you're no longer here. And the most powerful thing? You don't need permission to start building it. You just need the will. Creating your own legacy means refusing to live in someone else's shadow. It's easy to follow. It's easy to copy. But it takes courage to carve out your own space. It takes vision to do things differently, to see beyond the now and plant seeds for something greater. You don't wait for legacy to happen to you. You build it with your grind, with your focus, with your fire. It's not about being the next someone. It's about being the first you. Legacy isn't built in comfort. It's built in struggle. It's shaped by your ability to keep moving forward when things don't go your way, when the doors close, when people doubt you, when the road gets tough. That's where legacy starts to form. Because when others quit, the one who keeps going becomes unforgettable. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome adds weight to your story. It makes your name carry meaning. People think legacy is about fame. It's not. It's about impact. You don't have to be known by millions to have a legacy. You just have to be known for how you lived, how you fought, how you inspired, how you lifted others up when they were down. That's what people remember. That's what lives on. A name without purpose is just noise, but a name with heart, with action behind it, that becomes history. Creating your legacy is also about ownership, owning your path, owning your story. Not blaming the world, not waiting for someone to save you. You take responsibility for your wins, your losses, your growth. That's how you gain control. That's how you build something no one can take from you. You write your name in stone with your actions, not your excuses. The most dangerous thing you can do is live passively, to let days go by without intention. Because time doesn't wait and neither does your legacy. Every day you're either building it or breaking it, so you choose. Do you want to be remembered for playing it safe or for pushing the limits? For surviving or for rising? Creating your legacy demands vision. You have to see beyond the moment. You have to picture where you're going and then move toward it with everything you've got. Not every day will be perfect. Not every plan will work. But if the vision stays strong, if the reason stays real, you'll find your way. Because legacy builders aren't driven by trends, they're driven by truth, by something deeper than the noise. Your legacy lives in your habits. It lives in what you do when no one's watching. How you treat people when you have nothing to gain. How you hold yourself when life hits hard. It's not just in the big moments, it's in the quiet ones. The times you choose growth over comfort, effort over ease, integrity over shortcuts. That's where real legacies are made. You don't need the world to believe in you. You just need to believe enough in yourself to take that first step, to build without validation, to grind without applause. The world will catch up when they see the results. But legacy builders aren't looking for applause. They're looking for impact. They play the long game. They're not chasing followers, they're chasing fulfillment. You've got one life, one shot to make it count. So ask yourself, what do you want to be known for? What story do you want people to tell when your name comes up? Because whether you know it or not, you're already writing that story. With your actions, with your choices, with the energy you bring. Your name is your brand, and your legacy is your message to the world. Legacy is about rising every time you fall. Not because you're invincible, but because you refuse to stay down. It's about resilience, about grit, about that fire inside you that doesn't burn out, even when the world turns cold. You show people what's possible not by being perfect, but by being relentless. That's how leaders are born. That's how legends are made. Don't compare your path to anyone else's. Legacy isn't one size fits all. It's personal. It's unique. It's yours. Some build it on stages. Some build it in silence. But all who build it do it with intention, with clarity, with courage. And it's not about waiting until you have all the answers. It's about starting, moving, learning, evolving. Because you don't need to be perfect to inspire. You just need to be real. You've got a gift inside you, something no one else can bring the way you can. Legacy is about unlocking that gift and using it fully without fear. It's about serving something bigger than yourself. And when you move like that, when your work becomes your message, you create something timeless. Something that speaks even when you're gone. People might forget what you said. They might forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. That's the essence of legacy. It's in the impact, the inspiration. The way your presence changed the room, changed the game, changed someone's life. Every time you show up with fire, with purpose, with love, you build that. There are no shortcuts to legacy, no hacks. It's earned through work, through discipline, through vision. Every brick you lay, every step you take, every battle you fight, it builds towards something greater. You don't chase legacy. You live in a way that creates it. And that requires sacrifice, hunger, and a mindset that refuses to settle. Your legacy isn't just yours, it affects everyone around you. Your family, your friends, the next generation watching you. Every decision you make, every risk you take, it echoes. You have the power to shift lives, to change the narrative, to turn pain into power. And that's what creating your own legacy is really about, becoming the person who inspires others to become more, turn failure into fuel. That's the mindset of champions. Failure is not the enemy, it's the teacher. It's not the end of the road, it's the start of the climb. Everyone fails, but not everyone learns, not everyone grows. The difference between the ones who rise and the ones who stay down is how they respond to failure. Do they run from it or do they use it? Do they make it an excuse or do they make it energy? Turning failure into fuel means turning pain into power, losses into lessons, setbacks into stepping stones. The world often sees it as weakness. But the real weakness is in fearing failure so much that you never take the risk. The strong fall and fall again, but each time they rise sharper, stronger, smarter. They look at failure and say, it teach me something. They don't get stuck in the defeat, they dig into it, they analyze it, they understand it, because in every failure, there's a message. In every breakdown, there's a breakthrough waiting to be born. And pain brings truth. It strips away ego. It humbles. It shows you where you're not ready, where you're not focused, where you need to level up. That's how it becomes fuel. Because once you know your weak spots, you can strengthen them. Once you know where you slip, you can tighten your grip. Failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're in the process of becoming something greater. And no process worth anything is ever clean or easy. The great ones have all failed. Not once, not twice, but again and again. It's part of the journey. It's part of the cost. They didn't escape failure. They embraced it. Because they knew that if you're not failing, you're not pushing hard enough, you're not testing your limits, you're not risking enough to grow. Staying safe avoids failure, yes, but it also avoids progress. It avoids greatness. Turning failure into fuel is a mindset shift. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? You stop running from the burn and start training inside it. You stop hiding the scars and start wearing them like armor. Because every failure you've survived has given you something. Perspective, grit, awareness, direction, and most of all, hunger. That hunger is everything. It's the fire that drives you to train harder, think deeper, move faster, fight longer. It's the reminder that there's still work to do. And that reminder is gold, because comfort makes you soft. But failure sharpens you. It reveals what really matters. It forces you to choose stay broken or come back built. And when you choose the comeback, that's where the real growth begins. Turning failure into fuel also means ignoring the noise. People love to talk when you fall. They love to doubt. they love to point fingers. But that noise isn't about you, it's about them. They don't see what you see, they don't feel what you feel, they don't know the fire inside you. So you stay focused. You go quiet. You do the work. You turn their doubt into drive, their judgment to energy. You let every you can't turn into a reason to show them you can. Failure challenges your identity. It forces you to ask, who am I really? Am I just someone who wins when it's easy, or am I someone who fights when it's hard? Am I built for the storm, or am I only here for the sun? Answering those questions changes everything. Creates depth. It builds substance. It turns you from someone who performs into someone who perseveres. And that's what true greatness is built on. Not perfection, but persistence. Failure builds resilience, the kind of resilience that doesn't shake when things go wrong. The kind that keeps going when the path disappears. The kind that adapts, evolves, grows stronger under pressure. Every failure becomes a rep in the mental gym. A rep that builds toughness, patience, and wisdom. That's how you become unstoppable. Not by avoiding losses, but by learning how to take the hit and keep moving forward with purpose. Look at the most successful people in any field. You'll see a pattern. Rejection, mistakes, missed shots, wrong turns, and then, over time, transformation. Because they used failure, they studied it. They respected it. They didn't let it define them, but they let it refine them. That's the secret. Failure isn't the end, it's part of the path. It's feedback, not finality. It tells you what to fix, what to improve, what to leave behind. Turning failure into fuel means staying in motion. It means refusing to let setbacks freeze you. Too many people get paralyzed by failure. They stop dreaming, stop trying, stop believing. But the ones who keep moving, even slowly, even painfully, they find their way back. They don't let failure close the book. They just turn the page. They trust the process even when it's ugly. It's not about liking failure. No one likes to fall. It's about not fearing it. It's about understanding that failure is part of the price of elevation. You can't reach the top without stumbling. You can't master anything without messing up first. The road to mastery is paved with missteps, but every misstep sharpens your focus. Every fall fuels your rise. Failure also humbles you. It reminds you that you're not invincible, and that's a good thing. Because humility keeps you grounded, it keeps you learning, it keeps you open. When you think you know it all, growth stops. But when you accept that there's always more to learn, especially from your own losses, you stay in the game. You stay dangerous. You start to realize that failure is not a punishment, it's a privilege. It means you're in the arena. You're playing at a level where losing is possible. And that's where the magic happens. That's where breakthroughs are born. Because if you play small just to avoid failure, you'll never experience the power of what's on the other side of it. Failure can also fuel your purpose. Sometimes when everything falls apart, it reveals what really drives you. It clears the noise. It shows you what you care about enough to fight for, enough to rebuild for, enough to rise for. That kind of clarity is rare, and it usually comes through loss, not wins. You start seeing failure not as a dead end, but as a test of your character. A test of your character, a test of your vision, a test of your willful. And if you pass that test, by not quitting, by staying focused, by using the pain, then you come back different. You come back upgrade, not just smarter or stronger, but deeper. More locked in, more unshakable, more dangerous. So when failure hits, and it will, you face it, you welcome it. You use it. You say thank you for the lesson. Then you lace your shoes, fix your form, reset your mind, and go again. And this time you go with more fire than ever before. Stay hungry for more. That hunger is what separates the good from the great, the average from the elite, the remembered from the forgotten. Hunger is not just desire. It's obsession, it's drive, it's fire in your gut that never goes out no matter how many wins you stack, no matter how many mountains you climb. It's waking up with something to prove, not to the world, but to yourself. Because no matter how far you've come, no matter how much you've achieved, it's never enough if you know in your soul that there's more inside you. Hunger is what keeps your feet moving when comfort tries to hold you back. It's what pulls you into the gym when your body's tired, keeps you studying when your eyes are heavy, makes you work when everyone else is resting. You don't settle. You don't say I've made it. You say I'm just getting started. Because hunger doesn't let you sit still. It pushes you to grow, to evolve, to chase a version of yourself you haven't met yet. The moment you lose hunger is the moment you start losing your edge. The moment you start thinking you've arrived is the moment your decline begins. Stay hungry, even after the win. Stay hungry when the lights are on, and stay hungry when no one's watching. Hunger keeps you humble. Hunger keeps you focused. Hunger makes sure you don't let success turn into satisfaction. Being hungry means always chasing the next level. Not because you're not great or not done. Gratitude and hunger can live together. You can appreciate where you are and still want more. You can be proud of how far you've come and still know it's not your final form. That's the mindset of a beast. Never satisfied, never full, always sharpening. People get confused. They think hunger is about greed. It's not. It's about purpose. It's about knowing you were built for more and refusing to waste that gift. It's about setting standards so high that the average can't reach you. You don't just want to be good, you want to be legendary. You want to leave a mark so deep that your name echoes long after you're gone. The world will try to slow you down. It'll tell you to relax, to enjoy life, to stop chasing so hard. But hunger doesn't listen to that. Hunger knows that peace doesn't come from slowing down, it comes from fulfilling your potential, from knowing you gave everything you had. That's where the real joy is, not in comfort, but in conquest. In waking up every day on a mission, hunger makes you dangerous because it means you're not depending on motivation. You're not waiting for permission. You're moving with a different kind of energy, a relentless, restless, powerful energy that can't be faked or copied. You're not competing with others. You're competing with who you were yesterday. And the goal is always the same: be better, be sharper, be stronger, be more. That hunger has to come from within. No one can give it to you. No speech, no video, no win can keep it lit if you don't carry it inside you. It's not about hype, it's about heart. You have to want it so bad that quitting is not an option, that comfort is not a temptation, that average is an insult. Hunger is what gets you out of bed when there's no reason left except that inner fire screaming for more. It doesn't matter where you come from, how much money you have, what your background is. Hunger levels the playing field. The hungriest person in the room is always the most dangerous because they're willing to go further, push harder, sacrifice more. Talent without hunger is soft. Skill without hunger is limited. But hunger with or without talent, that's a monster. That's someone who won't stop until the goal is done even when you win. Stay hungry, especially when you win. Because victory can be a trap. Success can make you soft, it can make you slow, it can make you forget what it took to get there. But hunger keeps you sharp. Hunger keeps you training like you're still broke, like you're still chasing the dream, like you've got everything to lose. That's what makes champions different. They don't relax after the win. They reload. Hunger also means never becoming comfortable with who you were. It means killing your old self every day. It means setting new goals the moment the old ones are crossed off. You don't stay in yesterday. You don't hang medals on your identity. You use them as reminders of what's possible, and then you push for more. Because hunger isn't about what you've done, it's about what's next, what's waiting, what's coming. The road gets lonely. Not everyone will understand your hunger. They'll say you're obsessed, too intense, too focused. That's fine. Let them talk. The hungry don't need validation. They don't need applause. They need progress. They need growth. They need grind. That's where they live. That's what fuels them. And that's why they always rise. Because hunger doesn't care about opinions. It only cares about elevation. You'll face setbacks. You'll get knocked down. You'll feel pain. But hunger doesn't fold under pressure. It feeds off of it. The more adversity you face, the deeper that hunger grows. It becomes personal. It becomes part of your DNA. You start craving the work, craving the hard days, craving the struggle, because you know that's where the real rewards are born. Hunger doesn't care how many times you failed. It only cares if you still have the courage to keep going. To stay locked in, to stay focused on the mission, to stay willing to outwork everyone in the room. That's what separates the hungry from the hopeful. Hope waits, hunger works, hope wishes, hunger earns, hope dreams. Hunger does. Every day is a new chance to feed that hunger, to train harder, to learn deeper, to move with more purpose. And every day you don't feed it, it fades. So you stay ready, you stay moving, you stay pushing. Because the second you stop, someone else is catching up. That's not acceptable. Not when you've come this far. Not when you've tasted what's possible. The dream isn't the finish line. The dream is the fuel, the fire, the reason you keep waking up hungry. Because the goal is not just to achieve, it's to dominate, to lead, to set a new standard. To make sure when they mention greatness, your name's in that conversation. Not because of what you had, but because of how hard you chased it, how loud your hunger roared, how relentless your pursuit was every single day.